Three.
All righty. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another UniteDeFi Roundtable. I am very excited. This evening, we have some really special guests. I'm going to give everybody an opportunity to introduce themselves in just a moment. But in the meantime, if you're watching this live or if you're watching the recording later, I would really appreciate it if you guys can give us a like and subscribe. It truly helps the YouTube algorithm and might help me talk and gets the information that we talk about in front of more people. And I believe that it's all very important information. My name is Chris Ginn, known as Meta Captain, founder of Meta BUSD Coin. We are a Binance Smart Chain VR project. We do reward in BUSD rewards, bunch of other special stuff. But our main thing is we are a VR marketplace and a exchange building Web3 integration for many metaverse projects. EJ, as he drinks his water.
I know, right? Well, I should have known I was next in the squares like the Brady Bunch. EJ, Team EverReflect. We are a BSC traded reflection token, 15% BUSD. Our claim to fame that we're working hard on every single day is we're entering the live entertainment NFT ticketing space, making some great partnerships. We've also just recently launched EverChart, EverPay, and EverConnect. So check us out and Google us. You'll find us and probably see my goofy face.
It's not goofy. It's a very lovely face. Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin Reamer, CEO and developer of BUSD Buffet. Our token is one that takes a portion of our tax and moves that over to a fund that we use to buy other tokens and use that to perform sells once a week. And that will generate volume for us and rewards. And we also use the proceeds from that to buy our own token and burn them. So that functions as our buyback and burn. And in the process, we are generating volume for the projects that we have in our utility that we call the kitchen.
Yours is one of those that you can't, it's hard to even gloss over because there's just so much going on there because it is a little bit more than that. They're also collecting rewards the entire time from all of the tokens held, and they're only selling a small portion of the tokens that are held. So the rewards that are collected are on a larger volume scale, and those get redistributed directly to all the holders of the native token itself.
Yes.
Fuwa, how about you, buddy? Introduction.
Hey everyone, this is Fuwa. I'm the owner and main developer of Hibiki Finance. To explain Hibiki, we have a token that derives its value from token tooling we have. The goal is to have as much token tooling as possible that's available to everyone and easy to use, and also to have some good GameFi, which is something we've been developing for many months. Basically, when you have stocks, with dividend yielding stocks, you can get some value from the company. I think that's pretty lacking in the crypto space. So that's the main goal of Hibiki. When you own the token, you have an actual stake on what we are doing.
Don't worry, Hibiki. We're definitely going to be jumping into you guys pretty heavily here in just a moment. You're going to get a fantastic opportunity to expand on all of that. Matthew Gorilla.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Well, thank you, everyone, for having me, for sure. EJ, thanks for inviting me. My name is Matthew Patton. I'm the CCO of Gorilla Diamond. We've been around for a year, actually. We just celebrated our first year birthday here a couple of weeks ago. We are a BSC project. What we do is we develop companies that reflect 50% of all profits that are earned from all of our companies back to holders on top of our tokenomics. So we have companies like the Diamond Wallet. It's a BSC wallet that's going to be the first ever wallet to be able to purchase any Pancake Swap token with a credit card or debit card, which is live right now on diamondwallet.io. We also own a cryptomerch.com. It's a crypto merch company that is, sells all sorts of different types of merch, from shower curtains to speakers to all sorts of different things. And we also have Rising Tokens and the upcoming Chainify, which is going to merge influencers with brands and creatives. So looking forward to the discussion tonight. Thanks for having me.
You guys also have a swap, correct? That's integrated directly into the wallet.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily a swap. It's we actually tie our liquidity or the Diamond wallet right to the project's liquidity, so we don't require any tokens from the project.
Okay, gotcha. I understand perfectly. Billy.
Good morning. My name is Billy Thomas. I am the CEO of Photo Token. We are a reward token. The project itself has been around for 12 months, but our V2 with the BUSD rewards has only been out since September. We've got a lot of good things coming. We've currently got our Boda Swap, which is how I've made lots of friends and made friends with all of you guys, and more to come. Our Boda Swap completely eliminates the slippage, which is an awesome feature, and every other project that's come to us so far is loving it. It means that you can get people onboarded, you can get people into your token straight away without messing with the silly pancake swap errors, slippage errors, all that sort of good stuff. Then we're just again collaborating with everyone. We just announced that I've hired a company for our marketplace, so that's in full steam, and we're going to do a music player element to that, which I think EJ will probably be really into. And then I guess we talk more about my stuff later on. I don't want to show it too much.
All right, Mud. How about you, bud?
Boy, I have some big shoes to fill with everybody else here. My name is Mud. I am the CAO of Coinmerge. Really condensed elevator pitch is we are an ERC utility token as well as a BSC utility token. And we have already built a crypto-centric social media platform that is made for crypto users to have a single platform where they can come and they can have their chat room on one screen, and they can chat in groups, community lounge, or in specific chat rooms for their projects, and they can watch charts on the same screen, just like Dex Tools or PooCoin. Offers a number of other features, but I'll leave that for when we dig in later.
I can let you know now. I'm gonna legitimately talk to Luca about this later, because I didn't even know that the little chat room things existed. That's crazy. Okay, so yeah, I will be having a chat with Luca later. Atlas.
We just launched version 2. So it's been much improved.
Hi, everyone. My name is Crypto Atlas. I cover a variety of different cryptocurrencies on my YouTube channel. And I'm a huge fan, especially of passive income. I really started pushing a lot more on that, I'd say, with the starting point of SafeMoon, as it's a reflectionary token in its own model, but that gives you over time. And then we've seen evolutions furthering in the space with BUSD earn rewards or other token projects, node projects. We're seeing those kinds of things, the auto compounding, rebasing models. So I like to talk about a lot of those formats for sure. And I think that it's an incredible opportunity for me to be able to share with my community all these awesome developers and learn a lot more in the space. And you get to hear them also talk with each other. So thank you very much for having me here.
I love having you here, Atlas. I don't ever stop having you here. Generation Crypto.
I appreciate you having me on. Like Crypto Atlas, I'm also a YouTube content creator that talks about cryptocurrencies. We talk about a lot of the same cryptos, but I think we deviate in some degrees on things. So you can get a different flavor at Atlas's show, and you can get a different flavor on mine. I like to do more of the technical deep dives and a project overview kind of a thing. Less speculation, just very focused on what projects are, what they do, and how crypto works fundamentally. So if you want to learn kind of the crypto basics, the fundamentals, and then the difference is between different projects and what they do fundamentally, that's kind of what I talk about on my channel.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great summary of both of your channels. I want to know, and I don't know if there's any way that you could figure this out, but you know how Atlas, I heard you recently talk publicly about how a certain project that you've covered a lot of that maybe you've called it right. I'm actually going to question it the other way around. I wonder if you fed them an idea. they didn't know what they were going to do, and then they saw your video and were like, wait, maybe this is it.
There's been a couple instances. The one that's jumping in my head right off the bat is the whole augmented reality aspect. They've been talking for a while about the metaverse. And I'm referencing SafeMoon, just to be perfectly clear. I don't mind saying that out loud myself. But so the metaverse, we've seen the emergence with their Minecraft server that they made, which like, okay, I get it. There's a degree of stuff that you can do with that and integrating in with the NFTs or, blockchain technology. That's fine. But then when they're talking about these wind turbines and having it sort of feedback with the burning and production of SafeMoon for the NFT holders in that metaverse aspect, I was like, look, you're talking about developing countries. You're talking about a lot of places where people don't have computers per se. But what do they have? They have phones. And so if you can use your phone and be able to interact with things inside of the real world space, there's a huge market opportunity that's there. You can go in a lot of different directions. And then the next thing we know, just recently, they had revealed that they did an augmented card, since they're going to be launching their own card that you can go into a store and be able to buy things with, but it's going to convert your crypto on the spot into fiat for the merchant. I think that's an incredible thing. Having an augmented reality of just the card itself, it's not a fancy thing. You're like, okay, it's a preview of the card, but why do they have that? They said that they're using that as sort of a testing ground for some other things. So I don't know necessarily if they already had those plans for the augmented reality, but that's one instance where I'm like, okay, I know I had mentioned augmented reality before they did. Theoretically, maybe they looked at that and they're like, he's got a good point. Everyone's got a phone. We could really tap into that market and make it just more user friendly. So I don't know. We'll see.
Since we just had a late guest join, I'm actually going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself. Ahmad, would you like to?
Hello, everybody. Yeah, am I being heard properly?
Yeah, you're being heard.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmad, and Ahmad. I don't mind how it's pronounced. I am CEO of Girl, and I'm here with Matthew from our team as well. I want to start by apologizing for being late. So I am really sorry for being late. Normally, I'm very, very punctual and accurate, but I am recently a new father to a baby girl, and so believe you me, that all accuracy, all punctuality goes out the window. So once again,
congrats.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I am looking forward to this table.
Okay, so I immediately said that your audio sounded good. I lied to somebody. I'm getting a loop feedback from somebody on here.
It's not my baby. I promise.
I think it might be Mud. If you could mute your mic, Mud.
Oh, it is. I'll just, I'll mute him until I ask him questions. No, it's not him. I muted both of them, and it fixed it. So one of them, I think it's actually Ahmad.
Ahmad, okay. It is you.
Yeah, it is, man. We got to fix your audio. I'll unmute you whenever you get asked a question, though. Don't worry. Sorry, bud. Alrighty, guys. So first question up. I'm actually going to send this over to Coinmerge. If you could, Mud, could you describe to me how Coinmerge started and what the progression has been over the developmental course? Because you guys have been around for a little while, and you have definitely positioned yourselves as like a true accountable project. And what I mean by that is you've shared financial information, you've been very transparent with how you're delivering your financial reporting to the public, and so on and so forth. Kind of set a standard that I know at NBC with like our financial and legal team that we really strive for. Sorry to just dump all that on you, but could you expand a little bit on like how y'all were founded and how that direction and development has taken place?
Absolutely. So my boss, the CEO, he is the doxed owner of Coinmerge. His name is Matthew Goodhead. And so Matthew was a day trader and quite successful at it. And he said, gosh, this is just the most frustrating thing. I have to open up Telegram and Discord and Dex Tools and PooCoin, and then I have to go to Twitter to see new things that are being talked about or shilled. And then I have to go to Uniswap or PancakeSwap or all these different places. And so in order to be a successful trader, he had to have 3 monitors and 20 tabs open on his screen. And so what he set out to create was a place where crypto investors and crypto enthusiasts could come to a single platform where they could have the opportunity to build their communities, whether that was centered around a token or a blockchain or around a group of projects, if you were like a shiller or if you were a influencer or anything else like that, or if you were like many of the folks in this interview here, if you were like a deep dive analysis and those kinds of things and talking about technicals, you could create a group for that. And simultaneously, you can have on the same screen, you can have a chat and also a chart room that's open, and it's showing the minute by minute chart of whatever token you're looking at. Since then, we did evolve it into having more features and more useful utilities, such as a swap. So you can be in the chat room and I can be learning about Hibiki for the first time. I'm learning about Hibiki and I'm in the Hibiki chat room on the Coinmerge.io platform. And I say, you know what, this looks like a good project. I would like to buy it. On the same platform, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can click the module that changes it from the chart showing Hibiki to a swap page. And then it lets you swap for Hibiki. And you're still in the same chat room. You're not having to flip back and forth between different tabs or different windows. And then after you've made your buy, you can swap it from the swap page to the chart again. Or if you've already bought, now you're done with that, now you can go to the voting page and you can go and you can vote for Hibiki now that it's your new favorite token. You can go and do all of these things all in one place.
All right, so pointed questions time. Because a lot of this information is new to me, so I know it's new to my community and as well as a lot of the guys up here on the stage.
Sure.
What size user base are you guys working with?
So right at this moment, I actually have my analytics pulled up. Let me just refresh it here for everybody. We have 10,585 users that have signed up for the platform.
That's good numbers. So do you have any numbers for like daily or weekly active users by chance?
I do have that as well. So this number was historically kind of low because we were still operating on Telegram and Twitter and all of those things. Last Friday, we launched version 2 of our platform, which was a much needed, much improved overhaul of the user interface and the user experience. So since then, we have periodically been turning off our Telegram and telling our community, we're not here. We're not on Telegram. We're on Coinmerge.io, which is what it was built for, was to be a community social media platform. Since then, in the last 30 days, we have had 3.6 thousand unique users. In the last week, we've had 1.3 thousand users. And in the last day, we have had 341 users logged in.
Okay, very cool. So you can tell a trend of an increasing base right now on the actual platform itself as active users.
Absolutely, especially since the launch of version 2, the use of the platform has greatly increased because the user interface is so much nicer. And also when we turned off our Telegram and we said, hey, everyone, stop using Telegram, join us on Coinmerge, everyone brought their conversations there. And other tokens did too. We have some partners who were also committed and willing to mute their Telegram and come and talk in their chat rooms on Coinmerge.io.
So this was my very next question for you. Sorry, so many questions so fast, back to back. What's the process for any of us up here that are looking to join your platform or trying to like promote our own tokens? If we want to do it from a project perspective, do we just need to go like have our community infiltrate, or is there like a listing process? What's the deal there?
It's super easy. I mean, part of what we did everything was to have the mindset of making Coinmerge be a platform that is very user-friendly and accessible for people getting into crypto and DeFi for the first time. And so all it takes is an email to authenticate that you're a real human. And that two-factor authentication, it's going to send you that confirmation email. So you have to use an email that's real. You have to validate. And then you've made your free account, 100% free. And now let's say you are an owner of a project and you say, man, I really want to get my token listed on Coinmerge. All you do is you go on the module, you click the little drop-down box, you click on projects, and there's a button in the top right corner that says create new project. And then you're able to create your project. You enter all your information, like your contract address, your socials, like your Twitter or your Facebook or anything else like that, as well as things like your white paper, your roadmap, your contract address. All of that gets loaded into your project page, and then you're set. Your project is listed. You're listed for free, and it's now available with a chat room and your chart for anyone else to come and see it. And on your project page, they can see all of that information you loaded in. So I can see your contract address. Go ahead.
Are you aware? Has Luca done this for me? I'm going to reference this. Okay.
You can search different projects on the project page. And you can also search them by type. You can search by meme coins, utility coins, charity coins, whatever it may be. You can search by which ones have been audited by our partners. You can search it by, is it launched or is it not launched? Is this a token that's about to launch and now the community is all gathering, getting ready for the launch?
Okay. Very, very cool.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody has a question, feel free to jump on in. Sorry.
This is a kind of quick question for Coinmerge. So I got your guys' website pulled up here. I noticed that there's a little bit of a dinging noise. It sounds like when I have the chat open, if people are kind of typing in there. And obviously, as I have the podcast going on with you guys, is there a way to mute that if you want to?
Yeah, so that was one of the first pieces of feedback we received. Right this second, if you're using your PC, you can right-click the tab that Coinmerge is open in, and you can mute the tab without muting your entire PC window. We are building a mute button just for the site, so that is something that our CTO is quickly working on for us.
Okay. And I just want to say, as like an influencer kind of perspective, I like your layout. I like the fact that you have the ability to see the charts as well as be able to respond to the community in the same chat. And I know everything else you were talking about with the drop-down tab, the projects, voting, education, services, rewards, profile, all that. I tried clicking on one for like the trading. When I do that, though, it gives me the login page. So I'd have to make an account to be able to see that. The trades themselves go through which one? Through what, PancakeSwap or your own?
It goes through Uniswap. We're iframed through Uniswap or PancakeSwap.
Okay.
So you can access either of those, whether you're on ERC or BSC or either one. You can interchange it.
Cool. It's a fun idea. I like this. Featured news, crypto news, the different projects. And so you've only got listed ones that you guys have kind of manually added in yourselves or projects you've talked to. And then these different ones that get added in are essentially vetted projects. They got to go through and log in, create an account, etc.
Correct. So if you were making your own token or a brand new token, you would have your account, you would make your account, and then you would make your project. And then once done, you would have your own room and everything else associated to it, as well as appearing in the voting page so everyone in your community could come and vote for you. Again, stop me if I'm talking too much because I could just keep on going about what we've got going on here.
I've got one other thing. I remember I covered your guys' project a few months back, and I may be mistaken, but I believe you guys were working on a cross-chain. Do you guys have that cross-chain between BSC and ERC now, or no?
We were working on a cross-chain several months ago. We were made some promises by a developer that he was building a multi-swap. And then we came to find out that he could not deliver on his promises. So our own multi-swap project was scuttled, and we started to focus more on the social media aspect.
Gotcha. Okay, I remember that being a thing, and I was just wanted to follow up on it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Now, just to circle back around to that, your token is cross-chain. You just don't have a bridge.
Correct. So we launched our ERC token first in July of last year. We're actually starting to come up on our 1-year anniversary in a couple months here. And then we launched our Binance token on BSC in August. And we wanted to make sure that Coinmerge was available to both chains for both enthusiasts. They are independent of each other. They each have equal supply and twin tokenomics, but they are independent. So you purchase or buy or sell ERC, and for holding it, you earn Ethereum, or you can purchase the BSC Coinmerge and you earn BNB for holding it. Just recently, we did also introduce. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, Billy wants to say something. He's got to say it.
I got a question. Yeah, I don't want to be rude and jump in. All right, so as Atlas pointed out, so I think your biggest problem is going to be with this site is forcing people to log in to see the basic things like charts. And if you want people to use it to chart and also swap and also see our Twitter feeds and et cetera. So to me as a project, if I was supposed to be on there, if I was on there and then I redirected people to go there and use it, but then they're having to log in every time. What happens if you like clear cache or whatever, you have to re-log in all the time, et cetera. The other thing too, though, is you're going to have majority of people obviously come in who are just browsing, right? And so
Sure.
I understand the sign up thing is obviously to count your metrics, leads into extra stuff. And so that's where I'm guessing you have your extra things, the extra reward stuff where you have to have an account to access it. But at the moment, I'm trying to scroll the site and I'm just getting pinged with like email required, log in. And personally, it's giving me the shits. So so I can just imagine like thousands of other people just browsing, trying to like find out the charts and stuff of other tokens. Just to have a feel of your site is just like my personal feedback on that.
No, absolutely. And we do have a laundry list of fine tuning and optimizations that our CTO is working on. This is far from a finished product. I mean, it is version 2 and much improved, but our work never stops. And increasing the capabilities of guest users is something that is on our laundry list of things to get done that would give you, Billy, the access to then say, I'm a guest and I'm using like a guest service account to look at the different pieces of the site or look at the different pages, and it doesn't keep redirecting you back to that sign-in page. But then to actually use them, it will prompt you to create your account.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think that's definitely the way to go. And then you can run ads and stuff anyway to get your revenue for your project. But I just think that's one thing that's that's one thing I noticed is I want to play with it and want to see what functions you got, but I'm just getting this brick wall. So just want to give you that feedback.
No, I definitely appreciate that. It's something that is on our radar.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, do you guys have the possibility in the pipeline to have more than one chart up at the same time? Like you could kind of drag and drop and choose which windows that you want to have. And I know that from my experience of watching a lot of these stock traders, they'll use a lot of different tools and sometimes they'll have 2, 3, 4 different charts all simultaneously on the same screen. I think they traditionally are doing that through TradingView. Is something like that a possibility?
I imagine it could be. We have kind of like a priority list, if you will, of the things that we're working on now, our short-term goals, our medium-term goals, and then the long-term goals. And if we continue to get more and more feedback that having the ability to have additional charts running is something that our community wants. And I feel that it is probably something they're going to want, so that if they're maybe looking at 2 different tokens at the same time and they want to be showing 2 or 3 or 4 charts at the same time, talking about all of them, that is something that we kind of have in that medium pipeline of something to come down the road.
Yeah, I'd say it's something to just kind of take away from here and see what people think on it. But, when you look at influencers and when we do live stream videos or recorded videos and we're doing technical analysis, what kind of tools are we using? You're kind of having everything as an all-in-one encompassed thing. And I think it would have a nice little incentive where if I go to make an account, I then have the ability to choose which widgets that I don't want to have, and it saves all of that so that the next time I log in, it's all right there. I can adjust the size of the chat windows if I want to. I don't have the chat window up, so we don't have the chat going on while I'm doing the live stream there. Those kinds of things to play with from a personalized aspect, especially because you're dealing so much in the crypto side. I think it would be pretty cool. I would just love to see what some of the other people in your community also think on it, and just kind of have that in the back of your mind.
Absolutely. We want the site to be very customizable. So we want people to have the ability to say, I want my chart on the left and my project pages on the right as I'm scrolling through new projects, or when I'm looking for the next thing I want to invest in, and things like that. And so we planned on using this modular view. And right now there are the 2 modules, the one on the left, the one on the right. the plan is to continue to give some more robustness to the user experience of having additional modules possibly so that they can start to do exactly what you're describing.
And I think you're off to a great start. I just really want to point that out. What you have so far, I think you've done very well with, and it's cool to hear that you guys got a lot of other things planned.
Absolutely.
I got a quick question here as well. Sorry if you don't mind. I'm looking at the website, and I love the idea. By the way, we were going to do something similar with rising tokens, not to the extent, but I really do love the idea. I look at the layout that you guys have of this website, and it really reminds me of I don't know if anybody here. I'm sure people have used Google Analytics, and it lets you drag and drop the most important things important to you in the places that you want to put them. And that way, when you're going to the dashboard, you look at the metrics that matter to you. And I think that that's going to be a very good feature for you guys to add, just discussing it, which is the ability to move things around and lay them out the way that's important to you. In addition to that, it seems like it's a very community-oriented platform, right? It's connecting a lot of people. And my question to you is, and if you don't plan on doing this, maybe it's a good feature for you guys to add. Sorry if my audio is here. Let me see if I can just quickly make it a bit better. I'm not sure if that's better. I think it's because of the echo cancellation here. I'll remove that.
I do apologize in advance. You are coming in a little bit in and out, but I'm catching most of your meaning.
All right. How does this sound now?
Much
Perfect.
better.
All right. So basically, the question is, do you plan to add any login abilities using APIs, for example, Twitter? Because you're so community driven, I think it would be a nice feature for me to log in using my Twitter account and also have the same handle in your chat, in your discussion, so that people can associate people if I wanted to. Is that something you guys are planning or possibly can do with your platform?
Ahmed, you really gave me the alley-oop here. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We do have a feature that is coming soon here in the next month or so. It is going to be another module. So just like how you have a chat module and a chart module, the homepage is going to be going through a redesign where it is going to be a news feed, much more like Twitter or like Instagram, where you have your Twitter news feed or like your Coinmerge news feed, and it's going to have people able to make posts or share charts, share pictures of their charts, that they'll be able to take a picture of the chart as it's happening and they can share it to their Coinmerge story, for instance. And so people's news feeds, if you're following somebody, let's say I'm following you, Ahmed, and you said, I just bought this great new coin. It's called Mud Token, and it launched a minute ago, and it's up 1,000%. And you can click a button that shares a snapshot of that chart and shares it to your timeline. And then other people who are following you, just like other social medias, we're not really trying to reinvent the wheel too much, but just like other social medias, other people who follow you will see your shared posts, and they'll see your shared pictures of like maybe a chart that you're watching. And then you can add to it minute by minute and those kinds of things.
So to get to the nitty gritty part of his question, and I'm sure you might have been getting there, are you going to actually bridge that with a true social media platform like Twitter or Instagram or something like that? That way, like both those timelines could actually be bridged and interlocked. So you could post on your Coinmerge and it would then post on Twitter automatically.
That is something that we are discussing. We have to really do some kind of deep diving in to find out, is that A, something that the site is capable of, and B, is it something that our users actually want? And the reason I say that is just because we want Coinmerge to be crypto focused. We want it to be a social media platform for crypto users, because right now, one of the hassles with Twitter is you have to dig through it to find the good crypto stuff. You might have other people you're following or other things you're watching, and you kind of have to separate, maybe what's the latest movie that came out from what's a new token that launched that someone is talking about. And so if we were to integrate something like Twitter, it would start to fill that news feed with non-crypto related posts and items. And we want to try and keep this focused on crypto.
Yeah, I gotcha. That's a respectable answer.
Can I
actually have, Yeah, Atlas.
Can I ask a question for Gorilla Diamond now?
Yeah.
So, Gorilla Diamond, my question for you guys is, I'm trying to really understand the card being able to buy on PancakeSwap, buy any token with a credit or a debit card. How exactly does that work?
It's a lot of magic. No. So basically,
you're a wizard.
yes. I'm just missing my hat today. No, that's a great question, and a lot of people have asked us, how the heck have you guys pulled that off? I'll tell you, we couldn't have done it without our partners. We couldn't have done it without our partners' efforts that have worked with companies like Visa and MasterCard, and that have gone through the regulation hoops and jumps to get into over 180 countries that we support, including Canada and Australia that we just added. These are not easy ins. These are very difficult areas for companies to get into when dealing with Visa, MasterCard, and crypto in general. And anybody here that deals with a law firm or has a law firm behind their crypto company would understand exactly what I'm talking about here. It's really difficult to get into these markets, and it took them quite a bit. But basically, the way our technology works is, when you simplify it, it sounds so simple, right? But really, no company, no credit card company, really allows you to dissect their system similar to the company that we've partnered with. Because generally, what they say is, you give us a bunch of liquidity, and that's how it generally works. Is you give us a whole bunch of liquidity from your tokens, and every time somebody purchases the credit card, we facilitate that transaction. Take the fiat and basically give them the tokens, right? And that's generally how that service works in the industry. And so when we came into the market, I looked at that and saw it as a non-feasible way for crypto to continue, right? We can't continue to ask companies, give us your assets, and then we'll facilitate the transaction. One, it's going to be a never-ending supply. If you actually grow, you have to keep supplying that asset, and then one day if you can't mint it, if you don't have something that's mineable, and you can't mine that token, well, now you're left with no supply, right, to continue to facilitate that partnership with a company. And so we had to find a solution, and we went into it and basically said, let's take this system, break it apart, take the fiat, get the BNB, and transact it ourselves for the token and redeposit it into the user's wallet, right? And the company that we're working with allowed us to do this, where generally companies do not allow you. But we are a Canadian company. We are registered. We've gone through a lot of hoops and loops to basically get where we are. And we got approved, and we did it, and thankfully we're here. But to give you a simple answer, we take the fiat, we get the BNB, we convert it to our contracts, we send back the user the token that they've acquired within an instant snapshot, because obviously, as you know, it's very volatile. So we try to do it as quick as possible to facilitate that transaction. That's generally what we do, just to put it in a nutshell. But it's pretty complicated. I'm trying to simplify it.
Okay. Just for everybody's knowledge who's listening, whenever what is that feedback coming from? Sorry, thank you. Whenever you are talking about liquidity trading on pools and stuff like that, you don't have to worry about that supply issue. Like, if your supply was dwindling down because it was getting purchased up, your price was shooting up, so your difference on your trade would be the same. So you don't have to continuously provide more and more and more vast amount of tokens to people. But everything else you said I completely agree, and fantastic.
But here's the problem with that, and why there's an issue with that statement, because your price doesn't go up if it has nothing to do with liquidity. If you've given them the tokens, they say you go and you deploy your token, and you get 1 million tokens, right? And you set a value of that million. Now, let's say you don't add it into a liquidity, but you take a credit card company and you give them 500,000. Well, now they're taking money, fiat, from customers and giving them back that token. It has done zero effect to the price of the token because it's not tied to any liquidity. It's actually vice versa. If there's a liquidity and that user goes and sells that token, well, the only thing they've done is a sell action and no buy action, because the buy wasn't associated to a liquidity, right? So the impact is actually very negative in the way that they're doing it. And you most definitely will run out of tokens, because when the user is buying, it's not impacting the price in a positive way. It's staying stable. So that's and with our system, it's much different. With our system, we require zero liquidity from the development company. We have tied it to PancakeSwap, which every time a user uses a credit card to buy a token, it pumps the PancakeSwap price. So we've tied it to liquidity. That way, it benefits the development and the company when somebody uses that credit card to buy, right? So we've really designed things in a very different way than the traditional way when we entered into the market. And we've done it in this certain way to always benefit the developer and the company and the user as well when that price pumps. So just wanted to clarify on that.
Yeah, and to further clarify on that with you, I would say, what's the feedback? What was it? Sorry, I muted you for a second. I'll unmute you in just a moment. So just to further clarify that, just like a little bit, yes, you're correct. The system that you have rolled out seems to be a lot more transparent, and that way it would work in like a more lifetime fashion. Theoretically, though, if the company was giving like this, for instance, we've seen this situation recently in the news. If a company like Bitmart or a credit card company was taking any type of, fiat, USDT or anything like that, then you end up receiving that still, and it is like on your earnest to pair it into your liquidity and provide that liquidity pairing. Therefore, it does adjust your DEX like interface. But I love your guys' system 1,000 times more, and it makes 1,000,000 times more sense, and that's the way it should be. That's like whoops, I unmuted you too soon. That's a absolute fix for a DeFi problem. It's a DeFi solution for a DeFi problem, which I love, versus a centralized solution to a DeFi problem, which we see happen far too often. Billy, how about you, buddy? I see you got a question.
All right. So, and obviously, you can't really say much if you haven't said it publicly. But right now, browsing your website, having a geeze. So you're basically using Indicoin right now. Is that correct? Oh, he's still muted. Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Yeah, we're using Indicoin at the moment.
yeah. Okay. So Indicoin's the company that you're going through that's starting to piggyback off Pancake's liquidity, right?
Yeah, they're not the ones that are doing it. We're doing it, but they're allowing us to do it.
Yeah. But they're your current facilitator.
Yes, correct. They're the merchant for the transactions of the Visa and the MasterCard.
Okay. And so is your next step then, though, for you to be the finance company that's going to do it directly yourself?
To be honest with you, I don't see us going that deep into that market. It's not something that we specialize in. And the way I perceive it and the way I see it and the way I've generally run companies is, if it's not your forte, don't try to reinvent the wheel. If there's a company that is great at it and they do it well, in my opinion, it's better to partner and find a good partner, a long-lasting relationship, and continue focusing on what you do and letting them focus on what they do, as opposed to us trying to get into the Visa, MasterCard sector and dealing directly with Visa and MasterCard, right? It's just kind of something that we do. So I'll probably most likely leave it to them. But we are planning on rolling out future features that's not going to be through Indicoin. So as of now, you can buy crypto using a credit card. We haven't really created a way for you to sell your crypto back for fiat. And so that's going to be our next move. And that's probably going to be something that we are going to undertake. And for a simple reason is because of legalities, right? Once it gets into us giving back fiat, we have to be registered in these certain areas. So we're most likely going to start in Canada and the US because they're the two places that support the method which we're using, which is e-transfers. Some of you might be familiar with them, electronic email transfers. In Canada, they're huge. I know in the US, they're only available in certain places. For those of you that are listening that don't know, in the majority of Canada, we can send money to any Canadian simply by email. We just go into our bank, we put in the amount, we put the person's email, and we hit send. They get an email showing the amount, and they just deposit it into their bank account. And so what we're doing is we're trying to create a feature on our wallet that will allow a user to sell their crypto and take that fiat and e-transfer it directly to their bank which usually happens within anywhere between 5 minutes to an hour for you to receive those funds. So that's about it as far as how deep we're getting into the Visa MasterCard stuff.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. With much ado, I have a question for Fuwa. Fuwa, if you could, please, could you walk me through, act as if I had never heard of Hibiki ever before. And can you tell me how you guys started and give me like quick bullet points on some of like the latest updates that are going on? I've got other questions for Gorilla directly on their wallet and stuff. And I've got some really pointed questions for you, Fuwa, here in just a moment. But give me like a quick little brief like rundown.
Sure. The start should be the KCC network locker. You know that there was like a week or 2 weeks when the KuCoin community chain was very famous. Everyone was going there. So I wanted to do something besides, you know, participating in on the gambling that's these coins. So I decided to go for tooling, and there I started with the liquidity locker because there was none in this chain. When this chain died, I moved on BSC, and I thought one of the things I wanted to do in crypto was having a token that is backed by something more than a community, but also by utility that provides its value. So there, I started with a P2E game, which were quite enraged back when we were released in August, and then another series of tools. Basically, we offer different tools. These tools have a small fee, so they are more accessible. This fee buys the token and provides it for the game ecosystem. Our latest updates have mostly been centered on the game. It's been running for 8 months now in BSC and 6 or so in Kronos, and have added new game modes. We've improved the tokenomics and so on.
Okay. If those are your biggest updates or the biggest updates that you're going to discuss, are we allowed to talk about mergers and acquisitions? He just straight muted me. Okay.
Yeah, I clicked the wrong one.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a quite hot topic, but it's been a while now. We've basically finished the Olympus merger phase 2, so to speak, until July.
Oh, wait, whoa. Act like everybody here has no idea who you are and what your token is, and we've never heard of you. What can we talk about your first acquisition or merger, whatever you want to call it? Your first one.
we can talk this service Hibiki offers, right?
Yes,
some of
correct.
you may know the Bingus network. Bingus token launched during the last bull run. It went through a lot of work and a lot of iterations. It did a good job getting money for animal shelters, but ultimately the project couldn't keep running because this type of tokens just not in vogue. People don't want to buy this kind of tokens anymore. So the team was running free. There was a long list of holders. I was participating. I was doing some code for Bingus because I like the mission. So we decided, why don't that just take this all into Hibiki? And that's what we did, because the team was there working for free, and there was no easy way out of the situation. So it was creating no money. So you cannot also do donations without any sort of income. And then if you sell a token, you just kill it. So it's even less income.
Okay.
What we did,
so sorry. So just a quick question there. So everybody who's listening, we're talking about Bingus token around last year. It was like a charity token. They donated to animal shelters, stuff like that. The token, as a lot of tokens do, had like a good run. Kind of, went to that whole downward cycle, sideways trading. That's trading sideways for a while. Volume's low. Team can no longer support the project itself on like a true developmental level. So Fuwall steps in, says, hey, we don't want to leave you guys high and dry. Y'all got something good going on here. My question is very specifically, when this merger happens, when Hibiki, consumes all of the holders from Bingus. I know you do an airdrop and they get your tokens. They've got the same value, if not an actual like benefit value of some sort, because you also assume the liquidity, stuff like that. My question is, do you continue any of their utilities or do you continue any of their offerings? Like in the case of Bingus, they do donations. Do those continue with Hibiki?
Yep, absolutely. Actually, we've just made a new donation quite yesterday. We have to write the announcement.
Very cool. Very cool. I did not know that, everybody. I honestly had no idea.
This is not announced yet. Yeah, I have to prepare the new page on the Hibiki website where I'm going to put all the historic of the donations, past donations, and the new ones we are still doing on Hibiki because we don't rely only on people buying and selling the token, but we have other means of income through all the tooling and games. So it's more sustainable in that sense. There's
okay. So sorry.
Sorry.
So your second merger, real quick, just get into this because this is one of my favorite tokens. Just for everybody who's listening, I was a true like Olympus fan. An Olympus token and their team, they don't get enough credit in this space for the innovations that they brought at the time. True OGs. And guys, Fuwall here, true OG. Whenever you talk about some of the stuff that we participate in DeFi. Anyways, so Olympus token, they same path, I'm guessing. And how did you get involved there?
So both Bingus and Olympus had Mike involved as a box of sorts. So he asked me to join Olympus for the NFT part creation because it's been the GameFi part's been my specialty for a while, right? Not only making NFT contracts but also game contracts of sorts. So I got initially into Olympus to work on their game part only. And then just stayed in for a while. There was another team and so on. But yeah, as everyone knows, value was going down. And so did the funds of the team. In the end, there was a talk for a relaunch, but we all know how that's going lately. You relaunch the token, it's most likely going to be pumped and dumped. There's a lot of people that's back holding for months. Maybe they bought high, they just want to exit as soon as possible, and they see this kind of events as an easy exit. So we decided to go the same route. Merge the liquidity, get the holders, and the roadmap is still being worked on.
What, is it me? Should I go mute or
awkward?
All right, so I will say that as he is muted and paused, I know the rest of that story. So yes, they took over Olympus token. That actually just kind of ended not too long ago. I don't know if he's announced this, so I'm not going to say it. But they are working on adding something like this to their tool belt. So what Hibiki does is they have like kind of like a brew labs where their specialty is offering tooling services for other projects to utilize. And soon we will have another tool that will allow people to make transitions in and out of the space a little bit easier for their holders, for the team, for everybody involved. And Hibiki's been leading the way in this space, doing things responsibly and differently, because you got to think that a lot of the times we don't talk about this enough from like the project perspective openly in the public. But I think probably most of us here, especially on your project specifically, you've probably never made $1. Is that correct? Like, you know, like other than maybe like in some type of reward token or reflection token, you've probably never sold. You've probably never actually been able to, like, you know, cash a good check or anything like that from whatever your actual project is off the token project itself. Whether or not that's led to other opportunities within the space, or whether or not you've been able to derive revenue from like an LLC that's separate, that's a different story. But, you know, something that we just don't talk about in general. And having a place to go to, or offering a service for those projects out there that have essentially died out. They can't really afford the development that they need to try to continue to move that project forward, or the marketing, or whatever you may call it. Being able to actually move those projects along, you know, consume them in a way and continue to push them forward in a better light is an amazing service, in my opinion. It stops people from doing the worst thing, and that's just letting it die and letting those holders go to zero.
It's something that I think was lacking in this space, because this is very common in, you know, real companies. There's mergers and acquisitions all the time. The smaller company that's going down, it just gets absorbed, sometimes in a hostile way, or, you know. But in crypto, yes, people just let the token die. There, maybe you have like 1,000, or only 100. It's still 100 people like waiting for something to happen, but it never happens. They are just left there hanging. And actually, say if it dies and you take out the LP, it's not your money; it's theirs. It
Correct.
happens.
Yeah.
It's not.
And it happens all the time, and or has historically, at least. Generation. I haven't had a chance for you to talk at all very much this evening. Is there a question that you have for any of our guests this evening that's talked so far?
That's talked so far. Not quite. I would just want to say just kind of some notes on what Hibiki was talking about. I think that's an interesting point, that we talk about the idea that we don't see a lot of these kind of more traditional financial maneuvers taking place with things like acquisitions, because there's probably great projects that have been out there that have died that had good fundamentals. They had a good plan set in place, but they didn't have the right people to execute those plans, or they ran into issues, whether it was with liquidity or whatever the problem was, that prevented them from continuing further with that project. And that project and idea just died. And those holders, like we talked about, are kind of left holding the bag because they're not the ones who benefit from the liquidity being drained after the project dies out. So I would like to see more of that. I think it would be cool to see more of these larger projects kind of cuddling in or taking in these projects that are dying out, and then providing them the resources they need so that they can continue with a larger engine behind them. So I would like to see more of that culture kind of develop in the space, especially for the projects who kind of deserve that kind of support to get them to where they need to go. Because I've seen lots of projects that had insanely good ideas and they die out. And a lot of times it's from incompetence from a dev team or just lack of funding. So it would be cool to see more of that kind of support that way.
I think those are fantastic words and a great point.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So first off, is it Hibiki or Hibiki?
Hibiki.
Okay, that's what I thought. Chris, you've been saying it wrong. You got to work on your anime. Like, come on.
Whenever you promote them as heavily as I do, you can say them however you want.
Yeah. I'm just messing with you. So for Hibiki, I'm on your guys' website right now. I'm looking at your marketplace here, and for your NFTs under the crypto shoujo, my first question for you is that the avatar that you have, is that technically one from your own line, or is that something totally not related to it?
No, it's completely unrelated.
Okay, I was just curious. I can't see it very large. And then your website mentioned that your stuff is like AI generated. Looking at this specific line, each of these anime characters have different angles with their heads. Some of them have things going on in the background. Some of them are closer to the camera than others. Is it that line that is AI generated? Because every single one of these looks like its own original creation, and I don't see any flaws. And I'm just curious if that is AI generated for those, or if it's for the other lines. Can you touch on that?
All of these are actually AI generated by a GAN network. thing is that there's some very cute and there's some monstrosities out there. So, the ones in the marketplace side are nice to see.
Yeah, I'm looking at these and I'm just telling you that there's a huge spectrum on each one of them, and they literally don't look at all like an AI went in. I've never seen an AI have so many diverse angles, point of views. Some of these have more than one character. Whatever you went through with this, I mean, just that alone, my jaw is feeling like it wants to hit the ground. I'm really impressed by that. So I guess my next follow-up question, besides me just buttering you up with compliments, is that you also have on the website sort of like a trading card game battle mechanic to it. When I click on one of these NFTs to see the details on it, for the marketplace at least, the details that I see are the ID, the sale type, the price, and the collection. So for the crypto shoujos, are those ones that you can actually battle? And if they are, where do you actually see all the statistics of how that character has its moves or HP or whatever it is? I don't see it here.
Right now, if you click on the ID on the specific collection, it will bring you to the page. It's not the best UX. We are working on that. You press on the ID, it leads you to the game page where you can see all the collection. There's the ones you own, the gallery for all of them. And then also, if you own the cards and some Hibiki, you can also play.
I'll have to play around with it, but overall, I think it's incredible. I'm a huge anime fan myself. In fact, I'm actually a mangaka. I'm a creator of a series. I've got a full volume that's out. So, looking at this and you tell me that it's AI, I personally, I really like it.
If you zoom the pictures, you will see the artifacts because they are actually quite big. They are zoomed out and they look a little bit more stylized. But yeah, it's a very trained model.
So just to clarify and touch base again real quick for everybody, I believe I'm correct in saying this. Gorilla Wallet, you guys are BSC only, correct?
Yeah, so we are BSC. That's where our home chain is, but we are looking to branch out into several chains as versions of the wallet come out, because we want to start with BSC, get the bugs out, get all the polish on it, and then start branching out to various chains like Ethereum. We're looking into Poly, we're looking into Solana, different ones like that.
Okay, so you just led me into my next question. So the wallet itself, I am curious to I literally don't actually personally know anything about the Gorilla Diamond wallet. Can you give me a rundown or maybe some special features? A reason why I would want to use Gorilla Diamond over maybe another competitive wallet?
Sorry, I got a chest infection, so I'm chewing on a Halls right now, trying to get it out of my mouth. It's brutal, man. I keep turning off the camera to cough, so excuse me on that. So what I like to tell people is, everything comes down to preference at the end of the day. Whether you stop at McDonald's or Wendy's, or whether you go to Nike or Adidas, a wallet. People always say, "Hey, you're building a wallet. Why are you building another wallet as everyone else is building wallets?" 4% of the population, they say, is in crypto, with another 96% waiting to come in. People are going to have a preference. People are going to want to, they're going to choose this wallet over that wallet. They're going to look at the colors, the UX, the different features. Arguably, there's a lot of features right now that a lot of wallets have. And there's a lot of features that are being developed that no one's really heard about. So for us, we're developing a product that we want everyone to feel comfortable, that's easy for people to use, and then also build it with the community. I mean, it's going to be in the community's hands at the end of the day. That's going to be in the user's hands. So everything that they suggest, I mean, it's not very often that you get to be a content and create like a feature creator with a product. So with our community that's coming in, they're saying, hey, can we have this kind of feature? Can we have that kind of feature? It's stuff that we look into as a company. So some of the stuff that we are going to be implementing on our V1, obviously, is purchasing any PancakeSwap token with a credit card. You can do that on diamondwallet.io. I know EJ is here with EverReflect. They're actually one of our partners as well. So you can purchase any of those tokens with a credit card. We're also going to do things like reflections tracking. So when you upload or import your seed or your wallet, because it is a non-custodial wallet, you'll import your wallet, and then you'll be able to see every single token that you have in your wallet that has reflections, and then all of the reflections kind of an AI prediction into the next 6 months, 8 months, a year, a week. And we're also looking to other methods. I can't really get into it, but for the V2, V3 stuff, it's stuff that's never been done in crypto. It's stuff that's never been been done in the real world for everyday financial transactions, but it's never been done in crypto in a sense that we're going to be doing it. So we are partnering with a lot of different companies that we've been working with to bring these features to the public.
Okay.
If I can jump in.
Yeah.
Captain, if I can just jump in here real quick. So I also, since you're asking, the benefits and this and that of the wallet, I do want to point out that as of now, when you look at, and we got to think of entry point, right? Matthew made a great point. Generally speaking, 4% approximately of the global population is into crypto, right? That's a tiny percent. That's really that's nothing. And so when you're thinking ease of access, when you're thinking of how easy is it to get somebody into crypto, now traditionally speaking, super simple. Go download crypto.com wallet app and go buy BNB and put in your credit card and you can buy it. That's fine and dandy, right? It works absolutely fine. But here's the difference of what we've done. We all know that PancakeSwap and other places where tokens launch are basically the earliest you can ever get it. It doesn't get earlier than that. It doesn't get earlier than a pre-sale. It doesn't get earlier than when it hits the market. Crypto app is not going to give you that opportunity, right? It's not. We all know it's not going to. Binance, God bless Binance, is not going to give you that opportunity. It's not going to give you the opportunity to get into a project at a very early stage. Whereas we're creating a wallet that allows you, not just you, but allows you to get grandma and allows you to get uncle. And, we've all bought tokens for either friends or family members. I mean, at least I know I have. God knows some of you have, and you've bought tokens for people that simply said, I don't want to go open a Binance, and then go open a MetaMask, and then buy BNB, and then send it over to MetaMask, and then go find a contract. I don't want to do all that. It's too much. Forget it. And then you're going and you're buying it for them, and you're doing all that. So we've introduced, and I think it's a really good feature that people kind of overlook. We've introduced the opportunity for people to get into the market at an early stage using a credit card, and that opportunity applies to the grandma, to the uncle, to the brother, to the person that's not really that versatile when it comes to crypto, right? And that opportunity is not provided on the other major exchanges and major mobile apps that are available in the market. So I just wanted to make that very clear, that that's a huge benefit to anybody that's looking for that streamline to get into these tokens at an early stage.
Yeah, so your selling point is a low barrier of entry for a wallet. So you have an easy on-ramp and low barrier of entry. Your goal is to have a mass adoption of new incomers because your fee structure will end up being such that major players and stuff will just circumvent. But of course, your goal is to be just market, mass adoption, newcomers, try to bring in as many new people into the space as possible, which is beneficial to all parties and the space itself. Kevin, got a question for you, bud.
Yeah.
All right. So I see, BBFT in a lot of the same light that I see Hibiki. I know Hibiki offers a lot of great, services as proof of concepts and, things that they actually do care about developmental wise as far as their NFTs, their play to earn games and stuff like that. But where I get a lot of interest in their project and yours as well is the fundamental point of decentralized finance. MBC, MetaBUSD coin, we use it differently. We use it as your standard general token project concept where it's our currency. So we actually facilitate its use as a digital currency versus what you guys are doing or even Hibiki, where it's not necessarily a currency. and it's not necessarily supposed to be. It's a holding of something. You're holding it and you're offering a financial service. Just in case there's anybody on our stage tonight or maybe listening in, can you tell us real quick what your financial services are?
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, I guess for us, the main service that we want to provide is essentially a steady flow of rewards. And we do that by we use the tax on the main token, BBFT. It's a 20% total tax, 10% to BUSD rewards, 8% goes to what we call our kitchen, and the rest goes to LP, the 2% there. The kitchen is where that's the main utility that we have. It right now consists of 4 separate contracts. And what we do is we send the BNB over there. We have a list of tokens that we rank through a system we call our BRR, our BBFT returns rating. It looks at public information from several different APIs, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, PCS directly, BSC scan, to look at things like holder counts and performance over the last 7, 14, 30 days, etc. And it ranks them based on a value that is assigned through the BRR. So every 2 weeks, we'll take the top performers in 3 categories that we have and put them into this token pool. And then every time we hit a threshold in the kitchen contracts, it performs a series of buys where it will do weighted buys of all the tokens that are in the pool. So there could be 2 to 3 buy cycles every week. And then once a week, we're currently selling 20% of our holdings in that token pool and using that to buy back our own token, which again, it's a tax transaction. And then on Fridays, we take those BBFT tokens that we purchased and move them back to the dead wallet. We tax that transaction as well. So we're essentially generating manufacturing volume and rewards with the help of other tokens that we have in this kitchen. The benefit to the other projects in the kitchen is, again, because we're doing that buy cycle 2 to 3 times a week, we are purchasing tokens from them, putting BNB into their liquidity pools, and then when we do the sell, we're selling only a portion. So the net gain is that we have added to their LP. We've added to our token pools, and as they perform, we see an increase in our performance. So essentially, what we're looking to be at our core is I hate to use the term safe in crypto, but a place where you can throw some money and just let it ride long term and know that it's going to be generating consistent and constant rewards on that money.
And it's one of those things too that, like, and I think you knew this because I've known you since before your launch. I think you knew that it would be one of those concepts that not until is it actually rolling and operating for a while that like people can actually finally figure out what's going on, because a lot of it really is kind of like on a general course speculative, because it's like, all right, so what is this? This is some type of like fund, they're doing something. And at the end of the day, it's essentially an ETF. It's a BSC ETF. And as with any fund that you were looking at on the market, you kind of just have to judge that fund's metrics. How has it performed? What has it done? Has like that been a good return? So on and so forth. And I think now that you guys have been operating for a while, your metrics look fantastic. If anybody is unaware, BUSD Buffet, please check them out, look at their information, and just judge them like literally just by analysis. Just don't look at anything else. Just judge the analysis on their charts, what volume they've been able to produce, and specifically take a good look at the B kit. And if you're a developer, take a hard look at the B kit and see what's going on there. And I think you'll be impressed. Real quick, EJ, no. Kevin, you cannot say anything else. Sorry,
yes,
Kevin.
Yes, he can. You be nice to Kevin.
What would you like to say, Kevin?
The distribution event, which is our big Friday thing, 9 weeks in, we've burned 33 trillion tokens. We've generated $356,000 in additional volume and sent out $52,000 in additional BUSD on top of the normal trading volume.
Awesome. So that's just the added benefit directly from the B kit.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Very good. EJ, buddy, old pal.
What up?
I don't think you've said anything all night, man. It's been nice listening to all these guys, though, right? Like, this
It's
has
actually
been
nice,
fantastic.
and actually, because I've been in conversations with you and Kevin and Matt over the week. Like most of you guys know, I'm actually in Traverse City for the Michigan Governor's Convention on Tourism. So my other position as marketing director for Michigan Festivals and Events. So I actually turned off my camera just because I'm reading an economic impact study that we're presenting tomorrow morning around 7:30. And it's just interesting, because like you hear about everything that these guys and these gentlemen are doing to increase the space. And I think that it really shows a lot of the dedication of our industry because, I'm reading an economic impact of what's happened in our entertainment industry for the last 2 years and how we're seeing the upticks back from 2019 in the state of Michigan that went down $6 billion and tourism dollars went down. And now we're going to be hopefully popping back up to 29 billion with get this, 1.6 billion of that just being festival ticket sales in the state of Michigan alone. But it just goes to show that like it takes.
Sorry, just to clarify for everybody who's listening on our panel, EJ here is from EverReflect. He does NFT tickets. So he provides tickets for live events. And that is specifically what his industry involvement is in the real world.
Right.
So like his job is this what he's talking about right now.
Yeah, but it just goes to show like where we're at as far as economies, no matter the United States and the state of Michigan, around the globe, that all industries in general are having to go through a recovery phase. And even when it comes back down to utility tokens and the things that we're trying to do, whether it's swaps, whether it's building out social media platforms, whether it's just the damn hard process of converting fiat into a utility token, like it's so encouraging to hear so many of you guys busting your butts every day, because to get these economies back to where they were just even a couple of years ago, it doesn't matter the industry. Like I just gave you some economic impact study numbers that just got released from Northwood University, which is right up in Kevin's neck of the woods. But like, this is every industry across the globe in every country. Like we're all experiencing this. And the ones that will survive are the ones that get up every day, that they're constantly working on their projects, that they're constantly improving their skill sets, their education, building the right connections. And I'm highly encouraged by all of you guys. Like, you guys know I can talk, but in this space, with getting to hear some of the gentlemen that I never get to speak to, honestly, it's a pleasure just to listen to you guys, because I'm honored by your damn work ethic. And that's what it takes. And I know, I'm super close and super bullish on the Diamond Wallet guys, because I know how hard they work every single day. And it's the same thing with Billy. Like, all of you guys are busting your butts every single day. And it says a lot. And I'm encouraged by it, and I love it. And that's why I get up and work as hard as I do every day, because it's like I don't want to discourage like these fellow colleagues of mine, because I know you guys are constantly out there doing what you're doing day in and day out.
Billy is one of those that like myself, because of NDAs, we'll just never get credit out. It's just that simple. It's just like a sad fact of life in this space. Like it's rare that you have like true developers being the face of a project, and I love Billy to death. Billy, can you tell us what Boda's got going on right now? It's a good transition to talk about Boda Swap. What you guys got going on?
Mate, what's not going on? Can I just get more sleep? Like, that's just what I want.
No, that's not even up for no.
Yeah, so we've got our bonus swap, obviously, and we're having meetings all the time with other projects, and we've started building these tier packages for listing and getting together with other marketing people, because the biggest thing that projects struggle with, especially when you're new, is trying to weed through the marketing, the promoters, the YouTubers. Who are they gonna just take your money and run? Do they have legitimate followers? Are they all botted? You know, same with Twitter Spaces, all that sort of stuff. Same with Telegrams. Like nowadays, I got a DM someone offering to like voice bot the Telegram channels and stuff, which has been around for ages, but like, you know, that sort of stuff that goes on. So trying to find legitimate people, make these packages together. Part of my thing with the Boda Swap listing with the projects is to be, you know, it's a long-term deal as well. So we have our little Telegram group chats for individual listings and Discord chats and stuff. Always keep in contact and just find different ways that I can help them out with my experience, obviously with networking with you guys through UniteDeFi as well, so we can also collab, share our information, share ideas. Because, you know, like after a while too, you try and do it by yourself, and eventually you just get to a point where you just can't do anything by yourself anymore. You know, like especially if you think you know all the right people and everything like that. Like what it comes down to is just again the collaborations, right? And what we're doing together. So that's one thing that I'm focusing on with our project. And then I get to have lots more friends, yay! And then with so we've got our lottery coming up, which is almost done. We've got a live test app. Then we've got our NFT marketplace, which I'm incorporating a design to have a way of our exclusive NFTs to find a way to reward people, because I like rewards. To find a way of trading volume to go back through the NFT. But that's not finalized yet, but that's basically a concept. So people who have our particular Bodo NFTs could then, if they hold them, could earn a percentage of, say, monthly volume, right? So that's an idea. I've got a subscription service idea. So if they hold a certain amount of Bodo tokens, they should subscribe to artists. Now, this is where the music player platform comes into it. So just like Spotify, iTunes, whatever, same sort of thing. So I'm also very aware as a previous content creator is that you need to be sort of reimbursed in a way. So if you're going to put music and things up and then people subscribe, you definitely want to be compensated for that. So that's part of the whole design. And then we've got our yield farm and all that sort of stuff coming in as well. So at the end of the day, all of it, like what Kevin does with BSD Buffet and what a lot of us reward tokens are trying to do, is we're also trying to create utilities to push back into our volumes. Because that's one thing too, as investors, they look at and go, well, your volume's crap. I'm not getting any rewards, so I'm not going to invest. Whereas if we can start to sustain our own volume through revenue and put that into buyback of birds, etc., and have it taxed, like what, you know, Kevin was saying earlier, is that the holders get BUSD, right? They get the rewards. And then new investors go, all right, well, the volume's there. Then we're getting bonuses. So, you know, it's just all that perpetual cycle stuff. So that's basically what we've got planned.
I'll say this much, just like since you mentioned it just then at the end, because it is true. Like there's a perception amongst the BSC space, especially with like reward tokens and like the different types of rewarding concepts that we've seen splash out on the page, on the scene recently. I think the earnest is on the team, is on like the development side of to set expectations correctly for the community. And I've always said that and stated that from day one. But sometimes that goes directly into how you build your tokenomics. I think it's actually more important about your level of communication. So I've stayed like in direct communication with my community since day one, highly. And a lot of it has been built, you know, around what their expectations are at any given moment and what they should, what they should be expecting as far as like reward volume and stuff like that, and whether or not they should view the token itself as like an actual passive reward token versus a currency utility token, so on and so forth. And I think you see that mistake happen a lot of the times within projects as far as how the team has handled the communication with the community, what they can expect long term and stuff like that, and just the level of transparency that's there. I hope that in time we see that, you know, clear out. We are running kind of a long clock right now. I'm going to give everybody a quick chance to go around the room and ask one question towards another project, and then we can wrap things up. Mainly, I'm doing this for myself because I want to ask one more question to somebody, and I don't want to seem, just like overly guilty and whatever. Fuwa, can you? I would like to ask you, what's next? And first, real quick, everybody who's listening, Hibiki Finance. Hibiki, sorry, Hibiki. And they are available on Kronos and Binance Smart Chain. Sorry, what's next for Hibiki?
No, that's a hard question to answer because there's many things being worked on. I expanded the team recently. The next big thing is probably a web RPG game. So, do you guys remember those early 2000 games like O Game, Travis, and so on? Basically, I want to bring back that feeling on a P2E game. That's the main developments being going on. That's being done by everyone else. So I'm mostly doing the other parts of the project. I'm not really sure if it's going to be finished soon because I had to take a new designer in for this. But yeah, this is the biggest thing we are working on. Actual game, actual web game. You click, you defeat enemies, you get rewards, you get new items, you craft items. You go on quests. Actual game rather than just a dice game or just a few cards game.
You got to make a dating simulator, man. I mean, like, you got all these anime girls. I want to go on a date with them or something,
Stop, because we're good. I've talked about this for like months now. I'm going to completely give him a lounge of all of his anime girls in VR, and it's going to be just for him, private lounge.
Would like someday to add a visual novel part to the website if possible. That takes a lot of work though.
So the way that this is going to work, since I asked you the question, you now have to ask somebody else a question, and it's going to continue to just bounce off like that.
Yeah, I was really intrigued about the wallet because one of our main problem is trust wallet and so on. It's just mobile wallets are terrible. So, are you guys working on a mobile application that's kind of slightly better than the rest? Just by that you can take the market because they are all really bad.
I think that's the goal. If that was towards us for the Diamond Wallet, it's definitely the goal to create something that's robust and that's going to at least, if anything, to be on the safe side, at least compatible, right? And something that's going to be competitive between them and comparable in a sense, and have extra added features. But here's one difference: is we're not really on our launch for our mobile app. We're not coming out with our extension for our browser. So maybe not so much on the MetaMask side of things, but for the actual mobile applications like Trust Wallet, I know MetaMask has a mobile, but they also have an extension. So I think absolutely that's the goal. That's the plan. We're aiming to be better. We're aiming to add more features and to allow people to get into any PCS project basically. But hopefully with time, we'll continue to build that. To continue to move it over, I had a question. I don't know if it was a question or more of a suggestion. Yeah, it's more of a question for Mud. Mud, I'm sure a lot of us here in the past have, look, I missed IRC. I don't know if anybody's used IRC in the past for chats. I don't know. I'm old school like that. I got Billy Boda there laughing. I miss IRC, man. If anybody really was into IRC from back in the day, you understand how phenomenal that space was. If I first learned about community from IRC. So in the future, I just want you to just put that in the back of your head that Ahmed said IRC. Maybe an application or something that works like IRC. It was phenomenal application, and I think it still exists to this day. I'm not sure because I haven't been on it forever, but it was phenomenal. So I just wanted to say that if you guys are doing something towards something like that in the future, or at least an added option for something like that.
Well, thank you for that. I wrote that down because now I have some research to do. Yeah, I just wanted to, I didn't want to interrupt earlier, but I just wanted to speak just real quick to something that Matthew said with Gorilla Diamond. I just loved so much hearing you say and talk about the percentage of people that are in crypto right now and how it's growing. It's only, I keep hearing figures of, somewhere between 2.5% to 4%, and people are going to come into crypto and want options. And you used that analogy of some people like McDonald's, some people like Wendy's, some people like Burger King, not to equate crypto to fast food, but I love it so much because I preach this to my community every day. We do these kinds of AMAs and roundtables and different things, and people say, well, why are you talking to someone that has overlap with your project? It doesn't matter. We all have overlap in some of our different projects, and crypto is not a zero-sum game. And so I just wanted to say how much I love that, because we can have overlap and provide more good options to people coming into crypto for the first time. And the more they see us working together, and the more they see us getting along and having these kinds of discussions, all of us sitting here like this roundtable, which has been so amazing to hear so many awesome people talking about these things. I want someone who's never been in crypto before to say, man, look at these guys. They're hustling and they're building amazing things. And even though some of them overlap a little bit, they all bring something unique to the table that I want to get into for the first time, either to use as a utility or to play as a game or to purchase as an investment, whatever it may be. And I really I want to keep pushing that message of, we're not against each other. We're not enemies. We're not even really truly competitors, because our job is to work as a collective to make crypto, and especially DeFi, look enticing, look safer, look like an amazing opportunity that it's probably been for everyone sitting here right now, for someone else to look in and say, I want that too. I want to get into that. So Matthew, I wanted to thank you and Gorilla Diamond for that. That's not really a question, but I think I've said enough.
Just to piggyback off what you just said, I wasn't joking earlier when I said like we model ourselves directly from Coinmerge. I meant that like we strive to just be the Coinmerge of VR. Essentially, if you really break down what our goals are, if you could translate those 2D aspects into a actual metaverse, your business platform is essentially our business platform, added in a few more commerce and marketplace functions. But that's my point, is like there's space for both of them, obviously. Anyways, you have to ask somebody a question though. So you have to. That was the rules of the engagement.
Oh man. Okay, now I'm trying to think who hasn't been asked a question yet, so that I can pass it to the next person.
So far, only Fuwa and you.
So far, only Fuwa.
Or sorry, actually, yeah, Fuwa and you have been asked a question.
Matthew with Gorilla Diamond. My question to you is, when you're looking at yourself as a company and what you're providing to your users and you're providing to the people that you are building your utilities for, I guess I kind of want to ask, what do you always have at the forefront of your mind of how is this best for our community? Or like what kind of things do you think like this is like the key thing we want to bring to our utility for people?
Sorry, who was that for?
It was for Gorilla Diamond, but I mean, any one of us can take it, Matthew. I think there isn't anything that we do at the company level, and Matthew can attest to this, where I don't look at Matthew and I say, there's always three things that I look for, and I'm sure Matthew has them memorized by now, right? There's always three things that I look for. How does this benefit the community, which is the holders? How does this benefit the company? And how does this benefit the bottom line, basically the price, the chart, etc., right? And I like to make that separation between company and bottom line and price and all that, because the company can grow as a company, employees, have more developments, have more staff, but that doesn't necessarily change the bottom line and the price on the charts, right? So I like to separate those three things. But usually before anything that we do, that is literally at our roundtable, and we're sitting there discussing it as execs, we're saying, how does that work? How are we going to benefit from this in these 3 ways? And if we have a justification for every single one of those questions, then it's something that we usually try to entertain. If we can find a way and say this is how it benefits the company, the holders, and the bottom, the price, then that's how we're going. That's something, a direction that we can entertain and we can open up. I know it might not be exactly the answer that you were, that you've asked, but we move into stuff with those questions in mind, right?
No.
So when we had the Diamond Wallet, it was that everything we produce as a development, we know always benefits the holders. So that's almost a question that's shouldn't be asked in a sense, but we still ask it anyways to ourselves. But because we give out 15% reflections from the company's generated income, as opposed to being married to the tokenomics, right? Saying you get, for example, 6% from every buy, sell, trade on the blockchain. We wanted to expand outside of that and wanted it to be something that can really grow, just like volume grows, your reflections grow, right? So we introduced a 15% reflection from any development profit that the company makes. And this gets automatically sent back to your wallets, right? So one of the questions is always answered. It always benefits the community. As long as the project is obviously, or the development is successful. As long as we have consumers, we have customers, we have users, and it's making sales, then the holders are always benefiting. So hopefully that answers your question. And we're always, like I said, always looking out for the company, the community, and the price.
Yeah, I love that. I appreciate that too. I mean, we have a similar model where outside revenue goes back into the charts to our holders, and I love that concept and method. And thank you. Your question your answer zeroed in my question better than I asked it. So thank you for that.
No problem. And somehow this has come back to me. So
I'll take it.
Matthew.
So my questions for everybody, so one question, and then I'll ask Boda a question as well, and we'll keep it moving. My question for everybody is, I think we all need to collaborate in some way. So after this conversation, if we can make a Telegram group, if someone wants to facilitate that, and we can all start having a discussion in a chat, I think it would be fantastic. Keep uniting DeFi and keep making this space better and safer as we can go. So my question for you, Billy.
Real quick on that,
sure.
Just so I can plug it. Generation Crypto and what's his name now? McAtlas.
Yes.
McAtlas and Generation Crypto actually have a server that's a good landing page for stuff like that. We have a UniteDeFi one that we're going to be rolling out soon, but in the meantime, these guys have a great server. They just changed the name of it, so I don't know the name of it anymore, but it's like CC now.
It's Club Crypto is the new name.
Cool. Can we find it on your Twitter, or what's the best?
Yeah, so it's on my channel. Just go to one of my latest videos. It's always in the video descriptions. Crypto Alice, same thing, and then it's on my Twitter as well. So you can find it in a lot of places.
In Generation, when you get a chance, if you could plop it in the private chat, and then everyone here has that available already.
Yeah, I can just.
And actually, Gorilla Diamond, before you ask your question to Boda, it was asked in the YouTube chat earlier, what's your guys' website and how can people find information about you guys?
Sure, I'll make that quick and easy. GorillaDiamond.com. The best way to find out information, look at the website and join any of our official socials, so Discord, Telegram, and ask all the questions you want in there and come join the community.
Perfect.
Billy, I had a question for you. So with the swap, I was looking through the website. Is the swap live? And if it's live, how does somebody get involved in that?
Easy. You can DM me, hit me up. Or we do have a Google form on the actual BodaSwap page. So if you go to bodatoken.app and then look at the side menu, BodaSwap, it's down there. We do have to make it a bigger menu as well. So that's work in progress. But yeah, otherwise you can DM me. I can send the form. So it's all official. That goes to everyone else who's listening and also here tonight. We did just list EverReflect tonight. So,
oh yeah.
But EJ is very erect over it. So yes. So we've listed them tonight. So hurrah.
Someone needs to make that if that's not already one.
Oh, that's good.
All right. My question then. I got to go with someone who I haven't spoken to. So Right, Gen Crypto then. Question for you is, how do you keep your hair so luscious and lovely?
It's
I
funny.
want the answer to that too.
Funny enough, there's a lot of people that are in my community that always talk about my hair. I don't know why, but I don't know. I don't do anything really that special. I wash it once a day. I don't use hair gel. I guess that's my big secret. I could say that I use the it's not paste, it's not putty. I forget the name of it. I'm terrible at this kind
He
of stuff.
uses lard. It's whale fat. He just gets a big old glob of that and drips it in his hair.
Something like that. Yeah, maybe one day when I hit a certain subscriber marker, I'll reveal my hair routine for everybody. How's that?
I look forward to it.
I'm holding you to it, so you better give us that mark. What mark are we waiting for here? Because you got 3 people in this video conference with very short hair, and I'm assuming that you all love to have that hair set. So what mark are we waiting for?
Let's say 10,000 subs. Once we hit 10K, then we'll reveal the hair routine.
Who's got the bot? Let's get it going.
Well, perfect. Well, I think for my question, I think I'm going to actually ask BUSD Buffet. What is the list of projects that you guys currently have in your guys' kitchen currently?
There is a total of 53 tokens right now.
Oh, geez. So it's quite a large group.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see the dashboards, tools.busdbuffet.com. And it breaks it down between the 2 main utilities, the B kitchen, the BBFT kitchen, and then the BBFT appetizer, which is what we call the smaller kitchen contract that runs on Tuesdays.
Gotcha. Only on Tuesdays then, huh?
Tuesdays for the appetizer, and then the B kit, like the kitchen proper, that runs Fridays.
Taco Tuesday at the buffet.
Appetizer Tuesday. Got it. Awesome. Thank you.
Yep. I have a question for Chris. I know you've been working on your VR room pretty heavy. When do you anticipate that being available for the rest of us to be able to take a peek at that?
Any day now. Right now we're working on just like fine tuning things. So because our AMA lounge, we actually have a working partnership with VR Chat. So we're building out a lot of our assets and like direct plugins through VR Chat right now. So we're just having to build like individual scripts for certain physics because they're just not available. So it's been a lot of fine tuning behind like individual experiences, like small little games. It sounds so silly, but we've spent days on like air hockey interaction, just the physics behind the puck bouncing off the walls and stuff like that on like an air hockey table, but just not having like any of like, because if I was doing it just like directly through Unity and having it on a standalone app server, then like I could do that really quickly and easily, but I'm having to do everything directly through VR Chat to go through their servers. They only accept certain scripts, so everything's Udon, and that's the only language they accept. So like that's what you're working through. So there's limitations that like are just like slight barriers that are causing us just very slight issues that I'm wanting to definitely get worked out before we have like general public walking through it, because as soon as we publish it, it'll be advertised and published to like just the general VR community. So it won't necessarily even be a lot of crypto enthusiasts that are using it. It'll be like the general public. So I want them to walk in, enjoy the experience, and then while they're there, see really cool things about BUSD Buffet, Boda token,
The old bait switch.
Yeah, the old bait and switch, like see all the things that we have offerings for. And then like the idea is that like in time, as further adoptions available and allowed, a lot of our projects actually just behind like the infrastructure on how this stuff works. So currently, like everybody here, you're all familiar with your Web3 plugins that you use to do your Web3 overlays on your websites. Well, those Web3 overlays don't exist in VR currently, so we're building them for the direct interaction within your 3D assets and stuff like that. There's other projects that are trying to build this stuff as well. It's really great to see so many people working on this innovation, but long and short, hopefully we are first to market with a lot of this stuff. We're right there. We're pushing the boundary right now. So as soon as our AMA room is live, we'll let everybody, just enjoy that. No Web3 function there. But you'll have direct portal access to a standalone application that will be a wallet that will let you explore your Web3 function within VR. And then shortly after that, we'll release the same type of open lobby that exists in VR chat within a standalone application. And then ideally, the long-term goal is to just port the plugins and the hardware, and the software that we've developed over to a lot of these existing applications. Not even necessarily wanting to port everybody directly into our application, but being able to share that tech across the board, be that plugin for multiple projects universally, not even crypto projects, but your VR chats, your alt spaces, horizons, stuff like that. Sorry, long-winded. I can talk about VR all night.
Well, I would actually like to touch a little bit more on it if you don't mind me asking you a question as well. So yeah. I'm a big fan of anime, which was established earlier inside the podcast here. So as far as a character model, let's say I could pull in from the VR chat Goku. Goku has all these crazy transformations. You mentioned the air puck, and I understand about working out the physics and making sure that that whole dynamic kind of works. But when you have your own model and you have the ability to press certain hotkeys, for example, and your model will do these transformations going through the different stages, or doing an emote, doing a fancy energy blast, something like that. How close are you in your process right now to those kinds of things? Is it kind of in the same point as the other?
We do all that stuff now. So I have custom avatars and models that do custom emotes and stuff like that. And as well, we're building custom avatars per project. That's in the UniteDeFi movement. So if we have an AMA, you'll come in and you can select your own avatar. But the sad thing about it is there's just a lot of limitations behind the hardware. So we've done all of our development for mass adoption, and you get into vertices and stuff like that, where there's only so far the Oculus Quest 2 will take you on its own, long and short. So you kind of have to, it gets a little tricky.
Let me ask you another question.
Well, yes.
Is there any possibility of sort of finding ways to hybrid these characters? If you, let's say, had a Goku character model, and with that model that you have the ability to do a Kamehameha blast. Could I use that action and essentially save that independently, and then go in, and then I have a hamburger costume guy, the guy, the Hamburglar, I guess, from McDonald's. Let's say I'm him. Could I look like him, but then be able to do some of the emotes or the actions from the other sets? Because I don't think that's something that currently exists with VR chat. Is that something that's possible? You can sort of independently save those things?
Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could absolutely do something like that. And I think you can now.
Burger.
I think you can now on VR chat. I think you can import custom emotes. Certain avatars come with custom emotes. And I think you can go into the avatar. I can't remember what it's called now, but the cross-platform avatar creator. And I think you can swap emotes from different avatars that you own. I would have to double check that, but
that'd be cool.
But on our own server, we absolutely can. And we've already started to build and test the metadata for NFTs, something I know Fuwa is really interested in. And I haven't even talked to him about it personally, but we've talked about it through people about being able to take some of their NFTs that they have that are really uniquely custom generated, and being able to introduce those unique traits directly into actual avatars available through our server. So that's something that, like, obviously that's like the whole point of the VR concept. That's like what sprung me into action to do it, because the first time that you watch like Ready Player One or anything like that, the first thing that, like, if you're somebody who actually used VR like I had for so long, whenever, like, for full immersion, you have to own it. Like, it has to be yours, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know why it's like that, but like, for full immersion, if you really want it to be like an experience where it's you and the world and this is your metaverse, then like there has to be some things that are yours, that are really yours and verifiable yours. And NFTs fit that perfectly. Being able to have those NFT items directly represented with like items that you own in the metaverse is where the whole dream came from. I can't talk about this, so we'll talk about this all night. We've been going for so long, and we could have a million people on. And all right, I need to ask somebody a question though. I think we only have two people that haven't been asked yet, EJ and then Atlas. So I'm going to go with EJ. Force EJ to ask Atlas a question. So EJ, what do you think is going to be like? Do you think that you're going to have a moment within your community or within like the general public? Because I'm extremely bullish on EverReflect. I see you as being directly plugged in to your industry with the service that you're trying to provide in the real world. You currently already sell millions of tickets. So like, if there was anybody that could possibly sell NFT tickets to real places, it would be the guy. Yeah, it'd be the guy that does it. So I'm super bullish. Do you think that there's going to be like just a moment where all of a sudden everything just kind of clicks and takes off, or do you think it's going to be a slow building process?
Honestly, I could see it going either way. The nice part about working in entertainment for so long is that there's been times where we'll go, 6 months and say like you'll have one good concert. But like 6 in a row are just like, man, Gavin DeGraw's awesome and we lost $10,000. Or we did Jimmy Eat World and we didn't sell enough tickets. And then you'll do Dane Cook and he sells out 8,000. So there'll probably be like that moment, and it'll probably come with a bigger festival. Like, I'm really bullish on the Floyd Fest that one of our community members had contacted us with, and we'll be there in June. But like, we beta tested some 420 events today, actually, for NFT tickets, and we're beta testing our 80s festival this Friday. So probably, but it'll probably be like once we're getting some social posts. But anybody that's worked in live entertainment, they kind of know like it's not a fast game. Like it's a lot of excitement for a short window when you're at the event. But the build up for the event can be a long process, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. So I'm really kind of happy where we're at. And I'm kind of sitting in a very comfortable space, because that's the way it always goes. And, going back, I wanted to make a couple real quick comments, but Fua, you're awesome. I love the merger acquisition. Mud, mad respect for you, man. Like, you're in a space where you need to give updates. You need to do this left and right. You handle that like a damn pro. Like, it's hard being in social media, and the way you handle all of those, suggestions, amazing. And then what I was just talking about, how like, I know that it takes a long time to do events. Massive congratulations to Ahmad, Matt, and Billy. Like, you guys all celebrated 1 year doing this. That's a very, very big accomplishment. And you're still here. You're still spending time in AMAs. And I'm just, I'm really proud of you guys, even though like I haven't been there from the beginning. I know it takes a lot of effort and a lot of work and a lot of consistency over that period to even be around for a year. So with that being said, that'll lead into my question with Atlas. Atlas, what is the thing you're the most thankful for in the past 7 days?
Oh man, that I'm most thankful for? That I have a roof over my head? I mean,
Hey, that's
I
a solid answer.
That is actually drop the mic. That is a pretty damn good one. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going through. I was like, do I say the fact that I've got food in my fridge or in my shelves or the roof over my head? It's like, I know the essentials are the essentials, but realistically, at the end of the day, everything that we have is just money. When I die, I'm not going to take any of that stuff with me. Money can help solve a lot of problems. It can cause a lot of problems. I've got my family, I've got my friends, and we go through a lot of ups and downs as we try to find security with all this stuff. But one of the baselines is just having a place I can lay down, go to sleep. I'm lucky that I'm not dealing with constant, horrible temperatures. It's hot every single day. It's super humid every day. Like, that's something with where I live. Sure, California is really expensive, but the opposite of that is that it's got nice weather. And so I'm thankful for the fact that I have that.
That's
Guys,
awesome. I love that. I like that you kind of finished on that. And cool.
I really do just want to say thank you guys so much. Every single person that's sitting here this evening for taking time out of your day to join us for these chats. I love these chats. They're relaxing for me, if anything. And some of you guys, like, y'all are giants to guys like me. And I really appreciate the fact that you would actually join us and sit down and just talk. Yeah, if anybody needs or wants to do a shout out for anything, please take a moment to do so. I would like to say, if you haven't, anybody who has been watching this, please check out Generation Crypto's channel and Crypto Atlas. He's McAtlas right now. Check out their YouTube channels. They're great content creators, good friends of mine. They come out, they support us, and it means a lot to me. If anybody else would like to say anything, please take a moment to do so.
Look, if cauliflower can become pizza, you, my friend, can do anything.
Yes, very good. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.